Good morning, friends. This is Grace here with the Comfy Nest with Grace, and this is take 2, if you can believe it. I just tried to go live and I got kicked out. I don't even think I got started. So you guys can let me know, is this take 2 for you as well? I'm not sure. I don't know what happened there. For once, I was ready on time. I hit the button and Facebook said, "Oh no, you don't, Grace. Oh no, you don't." Okay, gonna get this up and running here on my iPad so I can see, hopefully I can see comments. If anybody's coming on, say hello so I know that I'm not here by myself. I don't know what's going on. There's Donna. Hello, Donna. Hello, hello. I think I see some people coming in now. Awesome. Okay, so today I'm going to be working with the sunflowers, which are such a pretty pack. This is the pack that I'm going to use. Oh, hey, hang tight. I'm just glad it's working, but let's see if I can get it flipped around so it's even better for you. So here, this set right here has been restocked, 12 by 16 inch. There's 2 of them. So I'm going to use the sunflower, but this is the other flower that comes with it. Super pretty. These are big enough and like tall enough that if you wanted to stencil on the top of like the front of a dresser on the top of a table, these are pretty big size. So I'm going to use this, and I think I'm going to use one of the sentiments from this set, which it doesn't have a name on there. I don't know the name of this set. My packaging doesn't have a name. Usually it does. This one doesn't. So I don't know. It has 3 in there. It says Sweet Summertime. Then there's the little pineapple, and it says Aloha Summer, and then the other one says Hello Sunshine. Okay, so that's the other set that I'm going to be using, and I may pull in a bumblebee. I just might. We'll see what happens here. Hey, Robin. Hello, Ellen in Georgia, and there's Jude in Ohio. Okay, I'll give away 3 sets of stencils. So if you're here, like Jennifer and Connie in Michigan and Judy in Ohio, and Robin is here from Georgia, right? Robin here in Georgia, and Ellen is here from Georgia. Vanika? What a pretty name. Vanika is from Utah. Say hello, just like all these other fabulous ladies. Make sure you say hello, because when I draw names to win stencils, I will draw randomly from the comments. Okay, so you need to say hello. If you decide to go ahead and sprinkle this out there, you can comment and let me know that you did that. That gives you another comment, right? Another comment, which means another opportunity for me to see that you're there and for your name to be chosen to win. There's your little tip, okay? Hello in Minnesota, Miss Carol. I'm in North Dakota, so I'm your neighbor. I'm a very proud ambassador for Essential Stencil, but my company name is called The Comfy Nest with Grace, so I'd be honored if you'd go check out my site as well here on Facebook. I have a free community, a free craft community, and a paid membership group. And you're all welcome to join either one of those if you'd like to. Oh, I see some of my paid members are here. Some of my Craft Therapy Club ladies are here. Hey, Kim. Hello, hello. Hey, Pat. And there's Shayna. All right, you guys, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform one of the Dollar Tree signs. You know, you can, throughout the season, they have, this one's like a big tag, but they usually have different shapes of signs. And so this is the one that I'm going to use. I've already cut off the jute and the tag. So I'll just string that later with either, I haven't decided, raffia or jute. Maybe you can help me decide later. I have already started. So I already put a coat of just a matte acrylic black paint. I used Waverly in ink. Okay, and I did 2 coats of that on here on this backside to give me pretty much a perfect backdrop for this sunflower. Now, a couple of things. I normally don't go with a straight one color background because I'm not a perfectionist. I don't want to try to be perfect, and it's really difficult to get a perfect backdrop when you're going with just one straight color. I usually mix, and I usually blend paints to come up with some really unique backgrounds for my pieces. But this one today, I felt like I'm going to be using metallic paints as well as the colors I need for the sunflower, and I wanted it to really pop, and I thought just straight black would work really well. Let me check. I'm going to check comments here. Oh, I like that one, just like that from the dollar store. So Joyce, I'm leaving this side the way it is. So 2 options. If you go to the Dollar Tree and you pick one of these up as your background, your surface that you're going to paint on, You can leave that side like that and you'll have two signs, right? You can flip it over and you'd have two signs for yourself. Or what I may do and what I sometimes do is I decoupage on top of this with a decorative paper. And like the gift wrap size paper is perfect for something like this because this is bigger than a 12 by 12 scrapbooking sheet of paper. Okay, so there's your tip. So here's another tip for you guys. And I love to be able to like give you guys tips and tricks to encourage you and give you the confidence that you need to just dive into your projects. Just dive into them, have fun with your stencils, have fun with your paint supplies without any worry of messing things up. So here's what I do when I'm not sure. So I was trying to plan out what I was going to do today. I take a piece of cardboard. I hold on to cardboard pieces from boxes, from mailers, nice big chunks of cardboard. And this is where I practice. So I told you that I want to use some metallics. So I was practicing earlier with some pearlized paint, with some metallics. This is actually a piece of foil because I wasn't sure if I was going to pull foils in on this project. So before you jump in on either a surface that you purchased for your project or a surface that you've prepped for your project, if you have an idea but you're not quite sure and you want to be more confident, grab a piece of cardboard and practice. This helped me decide size. It helped me decide which flower to use. It helped me figure out which paint to use. Did I want to use metallic paints or foils? Got that all figured out. Now I can just go right in and feel really good about it. Oh, Christine, she says, hello, Amazing Grace. Hello, Amazing Christine. Watching you from Grant's golf lessons in sunny Iowa. What? Your grandchildren. I get it. Your grandchildren are taking golf lessons. Got it. Oh, that's so fun. I'm glad I can keep you company and you can keep me company. Hi, Jude. Thank you. Jude is already busy. She's one of those. And it's so funny because now Facebook says sharer. You get like the title of sharer. You know, there's a title called top fan. Billy Cole just went by and it says hello from Mississippi. And Billy Cole is a top fan of Essential Stencil. If you share, if you sprinkle, you'll get that little title. That on the live, which is so fun. Yep, see, it says Debbie Corvette, sharer. Hi, Miss Janae, and Sandy is here. All right, let's get going. I'm gonna put the camera down so you can see me. Let's see, you don't need to see my coffee, which is right here. I'm still working on coffee, you guys. It's 11 a.m. here in North Dakota. And my husband will say, you're still drinking that poison? He gave it up a long time ago, and I have not. I love my coffee in the morning. Okay, so here we go. What I would like to do is I want to have one of these sentiments from this set. My sets are very well used, you guys. I've been working with Essential Stencil for a very long time, so I have been using my sets for a very long time. So this one comes with the Aloha Summer, the little pineapple, which is really darling. It comes with Sweet Summertime, and it comes with Hello Sunshine. What I want to do is I want to use the Hello, and I think I might use this, but I definitely want to use the Summertime. So I'm going to combine the Hello with the Summertime instead of Sunshine. And I want that to be in the lower right side of my tag. Like, I think this would be a great front door tag. Like, or in your, if you have a lanai, if you live in down south or on your porch. I'm kind of thinking that I want the words to just be down here in the corner. And I think I want, instead of, I want the Summertime and I want Hello. So I'm going to, like, I'm just mixing and matching some of my stencils, which again, we love to encourage you guys to do that. Like, have fun with it. I'm going to put it not like right on the lower edge of the board. I'm going to put it a little bit up, just a little bit up. And then over this, up here is going to be the sunflower. That's the plan. So let's get some stencil brushes ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a basic yellow paint. And then for me, I get really good, and I was testing it right here. I used this like basic yellow. It's called, what is it called? Let's see. Texas Rose. I don't know why. Maybe I put the wrong cover. Why is this called Texas Rose? Hold on. Are roses yellow in Texas? Yeah, that's the name of this one. It's from Chalk Acrylic Shabby Paints. I had to take the cover off to see. I used this And then over that, I put some gold because I was just testing out. I like to put a base under my metallics because it makes them show up better, I think. So that's what I was doing on my little cardboard piece. So I'm going to go in on this with yellow, and then I'm going to go over it later after it dries with the metallics so that you guys can see how that's going to work out. And these are just tiny little letters. So I'm going to use, actually, this is the smallest Essential Stencil brush. And I'm a huge fan of the brushes. They come back in stock in August. Huge fan of them, but it's a little bigger. I'm going to go with just a smaller one that I have on hand for the words because they are so small. Okay, so you can tape it down if you want to. I don't usually tape it down. It's just the way I roll. You do. Yes, Phyllis is saying yellow rose of Texas. Yeah, I suppose that's that phrase, right? You guys, I grew up in Massachusetts, a city girl, and now I live in North Dakota. I go to Florida. I try once a year. That's my southern experience, is just getting down south once a year. Hi, Karen says, hi, Grace. I'm watching from Vermont. Welcome in Vermont, my fellow New Englander. Oh, Colleen says, I'm so glad to be here. I missed so many lives. Well, we're happy to have you here. Yes, Sharon, don't we all? Sharon says, I love sunflowers. Yes, we all, they're just so cheerful, right? Okay, look at you guys. When we talk about paints, you can use whatever acrylic chalk paints, whatever paints you want. Mineral base, clay base paints, whatever you want. This isn't a, what is it called? It's a chalk acrylic, okay? I don't know, a mix of the two, but look at how thick and chunky it is inside my lid. Thick and chunky. Thick paint is really good for stenciling, you guys. I have to get a piece of tin foil. As you guys know, I use my tin foil as my, what I call the land of offload. Thick paint is good for stenciling because you have less bleed through, but the really, really, really important thing, even if you don't have thick paint, is to make sure you offload. Offload, offload, offload. I'm gonna pick you guys up if I can a little bit higher. Just hang tight. I'm trying to get you so that you can see this a little better. I like you guys to see the project pretty close up so you can see what I'm doing, but if it's too close, you won't be able to see my land of offload here. So you get the paint in your paintbrush and then you try to work it in. I do little circles to work it up into the bristles, and then I try to offload a lot of it, okay? Boy, you can see everything on a plain black background. Every little piece of like dry paint that ended up coming out of that lid. This is why I don't like solid colored backgrounds, because every flaw will show. I'm coming right back into my land of offload and adding some more. You know what, you guys? I'm going to do something here. I'm going to shut the lights off and just see if this is better. Oh, no, now it's really dark. No? Can you guys see that? Give me some feedback on the lighting there. Sometimes it's too bright in here from my LEDs. I'm going to have, we have a couple of things that the electrician needs to do, and I'm going to put some dimmers in this room because sometimes the LED lights are just too bright. Is that better, you guys? If you could just give me some feedback, I want you to be able to see. Hey, Katarina, my sister's here, guys. Paint boogers. Yes, Christine. That's what I call them, those little crusty things that come out of your lid. I call them paint boogers, and they get all over everything. That's so funny. You guys know the words that I use. I love it. Makes me feel right at home. All right, I'm coming in. I'm stippling. I'm going up and down, and I'm doing it really fast. So I wanted to slow that down for just a second to show you. All I'm doing after I put the paint on, I offload it, and then up and down, tiny little, kind of like a woodpecker. just pecking away here. I say woodpecker. My husband and I see him out every morning. So 6 a.m. I'm standing in my pajamas in the driveway, and we're standing there and saying goodbye, and just this woodpecker just starts up. We live in a very wooded area, and we don't hear them that often right in our neighborhood. But man, she or he was busy this morning. They make a loud noise. Okay. There we go, just up and down, up and down. If you want to check your project, if you want to check your paint job before you take it off, I call this the hinge method, hold it very strongly in one corner if it's not taped down, and then you can peel it back. I'll do it the opposite way so that you guys can see. I'm going to hold it very strongly in the bottom, and I'm going to peel it back and look and see. Am I happy with that? Actually, the E here in the middle is a little bit faint, so I'm going to come in. This is exactly why I do that. I'm going to come in on my E right here. I can just see at the transition place, like right at the lip of the word E, the top of it. I needed a little more paint, so I'm just going to go and reinforce that a little bit. Same thing over here with my eye. The top of my eye just needs a little bit more paint. Like this section here. It's better to go in with 2 coats, you guys. So I'm using so little paint, and my paint is almost a dry brush, right? So there's not a lot of paint down here in the first place. You can't see it glistening. There's not any gobs of paint. It's not dripping off. It's very dry. It's better to go in with 2 very faint dry coats than to go in with a really wet one right away, because you'll get bleed through and then you're going to be frustrated, and I don't want to see that happen. Okay. Shows up so beautifully on a black background, the yellow on a black, right? So this is going to say hello summertime. I want to get my words in first, and then I'm going to put the sunflower around the words. That's why I'm doing it this way. This, I need to let that dry, but I'm going to place the hello right in here. I was going to keep this, but I actually may take that out, and I pulled this set. It's called Local Honey Set because it has so many great bees, and I may just put a bee in there instead of the sun. I love the sun. I do love that little sun. I really think it's so cute, but I may put a bee somewhere on the project, but I'm going to decide that last after I get the sunflower and the words in. So let me take my hairdryer to this, just an old hairdryer, cool setting. Make sure my paint is dry. If I want to be able to place this down without smudging that. So I want to make sure it's nice and dry. This is a good way to get rid of those paint boogers too. Just get them all off your project. Oh, Robin says she used this paint and she loves it. I have a couple bottles of it, Robin, that I bought years ago. But you guys, the thing is, I have so many, I love to try different paint brands. I love it. I love to experiment and see which ones I like and don't like. So I have Waverly, I have Debbie's DIY, I have that, what is it called? Shabby Paints. I have this that I got at I have these metallics that I got at a thrift store. I have Folk Art. I've got Apple Barrel. You guys, I try every paint imaginable. And it's a really good way to decide the one that you like the most. And the more you paint, the more you do projects, the more you'll come to understand the ones that you love. Yeah, I think so too, Tina. Tina says the bee would look better with the sunflower. I totally agree with you. Oh, thanks, Tammy. Tammy says you're so much fun to watch. Well, you're so much fun to have on board. So glad you've tuned in. Dorothy says, at last, I'm on a live. Hi, Grace from Arizona City, Arizona. Oh, look at all her hearts and cacti. So cute. Hello, hello, my dear. Right now, Kathy, I'm using this paint. And I'll tell you something, you guys. The only thing about this paint that I've noticed that I do not like is it is extremely difficult to get off of my, my gorgeous Essential Stencils. I use, and I don't have any here with me, but that, I think it's called Totally Awesome Lemon Colored. It's like a yellow cleaner from the Dollar Tree on my stencils. It works really great if I have stubborn. But if I let this dry like I am now, if I don't clean this right away, this paint for some reason is almost impossible to get off of here. And I like to clean my stencils. I know some people don't, and that's totally fine. Either way you want to do your stencils, you do you. But I like them to be clean when I go back in and use them again. And for some reason, this paint, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't come off that great. It is really hard to get off. But there are some really pretty colors. I have 2 of them, I think. This yellow, and I don't remember what the other color is. I have 2 things of it. Too much paint. You see that? Too much paint. I'm showing you as a do not do this. Do not go into your stencil with that. That's a no-no. Come to your land of offload, as I call it, and unload most of that. Still too much. I have unloaded the big bulk of it. I'm going to come over here, little tiny circles. I'm working it into the brush, and I'm offloading most of it. You want a very dry brush when you come in. And now I'm stippling again up and down. You can see I've offloaded a lot, but I still got plenty. I still have plenty. I think I was at a like a little like boot. I was traveling through North Dakota to Western North Dakota a couple of years ago with my family for a little vacation. We went to the Badlands. We went to what's that little town out there called? The one where they do the show, Medora. we went to Medora, which I love that as a vacation. Just, it was so much fun. Anyway, driving through, I think, Bismarck, in downtown Bismarck, there was a little boutique, like craft place, boutique place that carried that paint. And I bought a couple. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll try it. Because I love to try, I had never heard of it. And I thought, hey, yeah, I'll try it. So I bought a couple of them, and you can see. So this was a few years ago. Look at how much I still have left. It's because I have so much paint in my supply that they all last me a long time because I just have so much paint. Okay, I'm adding a little more paint. I'm offloading it. I'm gonna come in. It dries pretty quickly because it's a pretty dry brush as it is, but I come in a second time, reinforce it, and then hinge it up and see what we get. Yep, it looks great. Looks great. See, I got to figure out what spacing I wanted. It fit in really well right over the word summer. And then time is kind of hanging out on the end. Now's the fun part with the sunflower. Sunflower is going to go up and around it. I just need to dry my hello so I don't monkey it up on myself. Muck it up. Tammy, I have Fusion paint and I use it seldomly because it has a top coat already built in. So I can look at you. I can actually make eye contact while I say this to you, just because it's good to chat one-on-one while I'm drying. Okay, so Fusion mineral paint is awesome. It's great if you want to paint and seal something all in one. It is not what I would say if you wanted to use it for crafting is if you're going to use it, like if you were going to use 4 colors of paint on one project, I would use all Fusion mineral paint. I wouldn't go with Fusion and mix it in with Apple Barrel or Folk Art because it has a very unique sheen to it because it has its own top coat. So if you're going to use Fusion mineral paint on a craft project and you're going to use 4 different colors, I would use all Fusion mineral paint because it has a very specific sheen with the top coat already built in. So there's my opinion. Again, opinion. You talk to your Fusion mineral paint dealer. I mean, there are people who specialize in that and ask them about it. That's just my opinion. I noticed that when I use it, it has, because it has the top coat in, it has a very specific sheen. My sister will keep called and I have to yell at her. Donna, I'm not sure. Oh, Donna's replying to another Donna. I'm not sure what she was saying there. Colleen says, awesome. Hey, Tracy. Hello, hello. Uh-oh, Cheryl says, I almost lost y'all. Yeah, the Fusion paint is pretty great. I did my file cabinet with it, and I love the way it turned out. So if I'm doing a bigger piece, or like if you wanted to paint a frame that you bought and you're refurbishing it, and you want to paint a frame and you're going with one solid color, or if you're going with a couple, use it, but I would just use all Fusion mineral paint. I wouldn't mix and match. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay, I'm going to take my cardboard and my dirty stencils and put them on the floor so I can make room for the sunflower. So now I haven't cleaned my sunflower. I was practicing and I haven't cleaned it yet. At the end of my project, I will clean all of this up. Paint boogers, go away. You're annoying me. So I'm not going to use the little flower. I'm just going to use the big one here. And I'm going to use the greenery, okay? I'm not going to use the little flower because I want the one big sunflower to be the focal point and then down here the hello summertime to be like the little message, right? And it just would be too busy with all of this. So I'm going to place my sunflower where I want it. I need to make more room because it's bigger than the space that I have, the stencil itself. So this is a great example, you guys, of how you can, and I'm actually going to twist it because here's the branch, what do you call it? Vine, the branch, the stem, excuse me, stem for my sunflower. And I want it to be positioned on the left side, like toward the front of my phrase. I don't want it way over here. If I just lay it down just the way it is, my stem will end up over here, and I don't want it over there. I want it over here. I don't know why I want it over there, but that's where I want it. So I'm putting this in like a diagonal position. It's not going to be straight according to the stencil, but it's going to be the way I want it on my project. So here's the bottom of my board is down here. My stencil, the stem comes down. It's about 1/4 inch too short. I'm going to, I'm going to lower it a little because I have not decided yet. I'm going to be stringing this up again with either raffia or jute, and I may make a raffia bow. Will I? Won't I? I don't know. I want to fit the bumblebee on here. All right, change my mind again. I'm going back up high. I can always extend the stems with my paintbrush. That's not a problem. Okay, this is going to be very dizzying because there's so much going on here with this. If this is going to confuse you at all while you're painting, if you want to be sure that you just don't get paint happy and lose track, like if you're like me, when I work alone, I watch like a Netflix series or I watch other people craft while I'm crafting, and I can like lose, I'm not paying attention then. So if you think that you might lose track of what you're doing, it's okay to tape off. Like, I don't want to paint these petals. I don't want to paint them because they're the petals that go to the other sunflower. So I am putting this tape here to remind myself, don't paint this. Don't paint those. I don't want this flower in my project. All of this. I'm just going to put like a little shield right there telling me not to paint that. All I want are the stems and the leaves. I don't want the flower petals. I think that's going to be good enough to tell me to just stay away from those areas. It's like the yellow tape at a construction zone. Like, don't go there. Don't go there. Yes, Chiquetta says, I do that too. Netflix and crafting, not chill. I think she means chill. Chill out. Joy says, sunflowers are so pretty. I think of summer when I see them. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I hope this is going to look awesome. I hope you're right. So I considered doing all of this one color, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to use this color that I used. Let me show you. I told you at the beginning, right here, I put yellow paint and then I put the metallic paint over it because I wanted to see the difference. Can you see the difference between where the yellow paint is and then with the metallic, how it darkens it, and then you get that metallic sheen? Generally, when I'm working with metallics, I like to put a similar color paint underneath it and then the metallic over it. I'm practicing. I was practicing. Here's some green metallics. Here's some green pearl paint. This is a metallic. This is a pearl. You see the difference? I was just like, which do I like? In here, this part right here that's usually like a brown color, I'm going to use by itself. I'm not going to put brown under it. I'm going to use by itself. I just happen to have on hand this metallic paint. Got it at a secondhand store for 50 cents. This huge bottle. I was so excited. This is called bronze, and this is the color I'm going to use in the center here. And then I'm going to do yellow and metallics for, of course, the sunflower petals. I don't need that much paint, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pull my paint from the cap. Let me grab, I'm going to use the same paintbrush I just used on the yellow. I'm not even going to clean it. I'm just going to go right in here with my bronze. My bronze is a lot deeper and it's going to be more powerful than that little bit of yellow paint on my brush. So land of offload, still offloading. See that? And actually what it's doing is mixing in any of that residual yellow that's left into my bronze. And that's good because I don't want little specks of yellow showing. So I'm getting lots of good bronze colored metallic paint in there. And I'm going to, you guys, what I did earlier, you can stipple, right? Up and down. When I did it on the cardboard, I literally just like ran it around all over the place because it was fast and I was just testing the paint, but it worked out fine. It worked out totally fine. I think the brush, it didn't have too much paint on it, and it worked out just fine. So you can go up and down, you can do little circles, you can go left and right, whatever works for you. Your decision of which direction to stencil in may be affected by the type of paint that you're using, the type of surface that you're using. I would say use Essential Stencils. They're the best stencils I've ever used. They're thick, they're high quality. Because they're so thick, you can avoid bleed through more. They don't move around while you're working because they're nice and thick and heavy. But if you're using a makeup wedge, you're going to choose a different way of using your makeup wedge than if you have a brush. With a brush, you can do little circles or left and right, so horizontal, up and down. You can stipple. With a makeup wedge, you're not going to be able to do all that. You're basically going to stipple, which means just that up and down pouncing motion. Okay, so what's the best way to do it? You guys, practice. Practice on your cardboard. Get out your brush, get out your makeup wedge, get out your like foam pouncer thing that they sell at the store. I'm not a fan of those, but you may love them. Try it. See what you like. Practice, practice, practice. And then see what the different applicators, the different brushes or makeup wedge, the type of outcome that you have with it with your different paints, and then you'll know which one you like the most. I practice. I would encourage you to practice. Okay, I'm going to just hinge this up so I can look at it and see if the coverage is good. Ooh, it's pretty. It's really pretty. I do want it a little deeper, meaning like another layer in this area here. It's a little faint. I see a little bit of the black coming through from the board, and I want this to be very solidly metallic. So I'm going to pick up a little more, coming to my land to offload. And then I'm going to, in these couple of places where I can see the black coming through a little bit, I'm just going to reinforce this a little bit with more paint. I'm going to leave it where it is and get straight into the yellow because it's positioned where I need it to be. I don't want to pick it up completely and then have to put it down again. So I'm going to go, like I said, this Texas Rose by Shabby Chalk. What is it called? I'll never get the name right. Shabby Paints. It's called Texas Rose. You can use any yellow that you have. I just happen to have that. The other yellow that I had on hand is this one. It's called, I don't have my readers on. I had to look like 3 times. It's called Yellow Light, and it was almost like a neon. It's just too bright. It was too bright for the sunflower. So here, I'm going to go in. Again, I did not clean my brush. I probably have a little bronze still in there. But I'm basically stippling on. And my paint, admittedly, my paintbrush is wet. Because I know I have all of this center section, plus the lip of the stencil to do. When I go into the lip, yes, you want it to be as dry as possible. But when you're doing these center sections, you can have a wetter brush. You know, just be careful anywhere where you have the lip of the stencil because that's where you're going to chance some bleed through. Now listen, flowers aren't perfect. Bleed through's okay. Like it's not going to be the end of the world if you get a little bit of bleed through. You can come back in with a regular detail paintbrush and make some adjustments later if you need to. Kind of like that. I don't know why it has like these little, almost like little petals like flying off of it. I don't know why, but I like them. See, I don't have a full coverage here, you guys. Can you see? I don't have full coverage. Right now, I'm focusing on getting the centers of these done, and then I'll come back in and do the edges because I have so much painting to do here. My paint in that cap is nice and thick. So I'm getting a nice, good, it has really good coverage. I'll say that for this brand. The coverage is really good. Like the black isn't showing through a whole lot. I mean, where it's faint on my brush, it's showing through, but not where I have a good dab of paint. So it has really good coverage. Now I'm thinking about, I'm going to check comments here in a minute, girls, just in case anybody's asking a question. And guys, if there's any guys out there. I'm thinking about pulling a little bit of the bronze into the bottom of these. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. Let's just, I make up my mind as I go. Oops, I got somewhere, it's supposed to be green right there. I got yellow. I got to go over it with green anyway to get my greenery done, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. This brush, Colleen asked me last week or the week before where I got it. It was in a set of brushes that I think I got at Walmart, so I can't even, it doesn't have a name on it, on the handle, so I couldn't even tell her where I got it, but I like that it's just so tiny. If you can find a couple of little tiny stencil brushes, it's really nice to have them when you're working on stuff that's so small. It's a little easier than coming in on your project with a really big brush because you have a little more control. Okay, all right, let me check comments because I have not checked comments in a minute. Bronze on the edge of the petals, Denise, that's a good idea. Tracy says, I love this one. Do as you go is the best way to see the surprise. Yes, Joyce, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I just mentioned that, Tammy. Tammy asked, why am I not offloading? Because I'm focusing on the middle. I don't have to worry about bleed through in the middle of this petal. I just don't. I need to just get paint in the middle of that petal, right? So I'm doing all of the middles. That's what I'm really focusing on. Now you can see I have a bit of all of the edges. You see all that black coming through? Now I'll come through and I'll go over it again, and I'm going to focus on my edges now that I've got all the middle of the petals done. So now I'll focus on the edges. And again, I'm going up and down. It's probably hard for you to see because I'm doing it really fast, like a woodpecker. It's what it makes me think of. I don't want paint. I'm really close to the edge here, and I do not want paint. I don't want these two petals to show. So a couple of things you can do. I know that Miss Melissa, she does this a lot, and I learned this from her. If you don't want to get your painter's tape out, you can use your little black inserts from your stencil set and cover up what you don't want to get paint on. So instead of going through the trouble of getting out your painter's tape, you can just use these little black inserts. That I learned that from Miss Melissa from Rustic Sawmill. So here again, there's a point here that I don't want to get any paint in this part over here because I don't want that to show on my project. So you can just use these to kind of protect that. All right, here we go. So this is a little tedious, you guys. It is a little tedious because there's just so many little parts to it, but I don't mind. I like this kind of project. I like it because I think it's so fun. Like, was it Joyce said? It's kind of like the surprise at the end, the reveal. I don't want this to be stenciled, but with my paintbrush, I think I'm gonna extend these leaves that get cut off. So this leaf here, it gets cut off by, let's bring you in closer so you can see, this petal, excuse me, here, gets cut off because of the petals from this flower are over on top of it. So when I'm done, when I pull this up, I will come in with a regular paintbrush and just finish that little leaf, the point of that leaf. I'm just gonna add it in later. So I'm just gonna really just ignore that for a minute and come back to it later. So now that I'm focusing on my edges, all of these edges that I wasn't focused on earlier. Earlier, I was just trying to get the middle mainly done. Now I'm coming in and I'm focusing on all the edges where the lip of the stencil is. So I am offloading. I'm making sure to offload and then come in. And again, when you go up and down, it's a lot easier to avoid bleed through than if you go left and right, because if you come in and you hit it from the left or right and you hit the lip of that stencil, if you do have like any like wetness in here, it's going to pick up that wetness and it's going to push it right underneath your stencil where you do not want it. So try to avoid that. So this is another one. This is another one. I'm going to have to finish that later with a regular paintbrush. Okay. Let me pull you out just a little bit more so you can see better. Here, this one, I'm going to have a green leaf coming over this. So I don't mind if I get a little bit of yellow on that leaf. It doesn't bother me a little in the least because I'm going to end up covering that with dark green paint. Okay. So I make my decisions as I go around. Like, do I want that to be covered? Don't I want it to be covered? Is it the end of the world if I get a little yellow here? Nope, it's not, because I'm going to cover it with green. Right now I'm focusing on all of the edges of all of my sunflower petals. I want to fill them all in. I didn't fill them in earlier, so I've got to do it now. What I was doing earlier was just getting the center part of my petal done. Now you don't have to do it that way, you guys. If you want to be, you know, just take each individual petal on its own and do it in its entirety, one at a time. Like I always say, you do you. Like, I'm not the boss of you. You do it however you feel like doing it. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, that's how my mind works. So that's what I did. I did all the centers, and now I'm coming around and I'm doing all the edges to make sure that they're nice and crisp. I am going up and down. It's probably hard for you to see because I'm doing it kind of fast. I just have like 4 more petals, and then I can, I'm going to do the greenery, and then I'll come back in after I take this off of here, I'm going to come back in with the metallics and I'm going to reinforce. You'll see I'm going to add some metallics to all of this. Now the middle section is already bronzed metallic, but I want to add gold to my sunflower petals. And once I get my base green done, I'm going to add metallic green to all my greenery so that it really pops. And then I'm going to see about that bumblebee. You guys can vote. After I pull this off and we see how much of it is, how much of the surface, the board itself is covered with design, we can decide if there's room for a bumblebee or not. Okay. All right, I think I'm good with that. I could actually come in right away with my gold. I could do that right now. So you have two choices to make. You could, while you still have your yellow on your brush, you could come in with your gold. I don't want the leaves to be completely gold, but I want to reinforce them with the gold metallic so that this is metallic. And then these will have like highlights of metallic so that they coordinate. You don't have to. You could just do this metallic and leave these all flat, like a matte paint. Or what I was originally going to do is I was going to wait until I pull off the stencil and then add the metallics. In fact, I am going to do that because that gives you a different way, like a different format for your stenciling. It's just going to show you a different way of doing it, that you don't have to have the stencil. Once you've got the base on, you don't have to have the stencil on there to add any metallics if you want to add that to your finish. So I'll just do it that way, the original way I planned. I want to do my greenery. Because my green is going to compete a little bit with that yellow, I am going to clean that off. So I just take it into my water bucket and I clean off the bottom. I try to get most of the excess water off on the edges. And then I always have clean rags. This is clean. It just came out of the wash literally. But I always have my clean rag, and you can see I'm getting copper paint and I'm getting yellow. I want to use the same brush actually because it's nice and small and some of these stems are pretty tiny. See them? They're just really little. All right, so green, I'm gonna come in with, I have this green metallic that I'm gonna add to it later. Right now, I'm just gonna come in, it's called Christmas green, I think. Yes, Christmas green. And I actually have Christmas green, I have bright green here, and when I do greenery, when I do stems and leaves, I usually mix two greens, blend, mix, work with them together because I don't like one solid paint color with things that are in nature because I always feel like, sorry for that guys. Uh-oh, maybe I don't have any of this one left. There we go. Because I feel like, you know, usually flowers, they're not solidly one color. Leaves and stems, they're not usually solidly one color. I like to add a couple of colors. This is all greenery and we're keeping it all. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to start in with my greenery. Now here, it's really close to the edge of my petal. So right here, I'm going to use this black divider to cover my petal so that I can get the stem without worry of touching my flower petal. Now here, very carefully, that is a flower petal for the sunflower. I don't want it to be green. I don't want to stencil that, but I want to get this whole leaf. So here we go. I'm going to take a little bit of paint. I'll take a little bit of both color, blend them together. So if I get a little hit of bright green, so see how much of that's dark green? So right now I'll just come in and get the bright green, and I'm going to go over this with the bright green so that there's a little bit of both. And you can see the difference between the bright green, and it's subtle. It's not like it looks tie-dyed or anything, but it's a little bit of blending and a little bit of adding. So here I just went in with the dark green, and so I'm going to add the dark green here. These are pretty close to each other in color. Whoops, I hit my yellow leaf, my yellow petal there. That's okay. I can fix that later. Okay, now see, center of this big huge leaf, I just need green paint. I'm not going to worry about offloading too much. I'm just going to fill in my center. Same here. One big green leaf. I don't have to worry about offloading as much because I'm not touching the edges. That's what I was doing earlier with the petals. Just like get in here to get your green. Now, I don't want to hit my Hello Sunshine. I'm going right up to it. And it's like it's sitting on top of, the Hello Sunshine is sitting on top of the flower, on top of my green stem, and it's over it so that you can't see what's behind. I'm trying to hide that in the, not hide it, I'm trying to make it so that the stem, I don't want to, what's the wording I'm looking for? I don't want it to look like it's behind it. I want the Hello Sunshine to look like it's on top of it. And I don't want any of the stem to show behind it. That's why I chose to do the Hello Sunshine first and then come in and do the leaves and the flower around the wording. That's why I chose it to do that way. So you'll see the effect that I get when I'm finished here. This is part of the sunflower, but I'm gonna pretend it's a leaf. It's the same shape as a leaf. I'm gonna make it green, so that I have a little more greenery over here. Again, I don't want greenery getting there, and I don't want green here. Okay. It's a little tedious, you guys, but it's all worth it in the end, I think anyway. Again, same thing with this greenery. I'm gonna come in with the metallics after I pull up the stencil, and I'm going to add, and I'll show you how to do that. And then at the end, you guys, I'll pull 3 names for winners for stencil sets. Who has the sunflower? Do any of you already have the sunflower? You're welcome, Cindy. I will fix it. Someone says, who is it? Someone. Janice, Miss Janice. Top fan, Miss Janice. Can't see all of the project. There, now you can see. Yeah, you can see, I hope. Thank you for telling me that. Barbara says she has the sunflower. Who else has the sunflower? Who else? Who else? Who else? Oh, Jarita says, I just got my sunflower stencil. Okay, I've been using a lot of the dark green, so I'm going to come in. I've got the 2 greens here, darker and lighter, so I'm going to come in with the brighter one, lighter one. And because I have much of this is already dark, I'm going to come in with this one and supplement. Here are my edges of my leaves. I have to get all of the edges done. I did the middle with the dark. Now I'm coming in with the brighter color. It doesn't matter. There's no rhyme or reason to what color you put on top or bottom. It doesn't matter. I just like, when I do greenery, I like to use a couple of greens. I don't want it to be all solid one color. And in fact, I'm going to come in with another green on top of this, the green that's the metallic green. You guys will get a feel. The more you do this, the more you stencil on different types of surfaces, the more you stencil with different types of paints and paint brushes and applicators, you will get a better feel for it. You'll get more confident, and it will be easier for you. It'll be faster, easier, and some of the decisions that I'm explaining to you, my thought process as I go, I'm explaining it to you as I go. At some point, the more and more you practice and the more proficient, the better you get at it, the less conscious it will be. Like, it will be in your subconscious. You'll just know what to do. I've been bringing this up a lot lately. My 14-year-old is getting his license this summer. He turns 15 in a couple of weeks. He's been going through driver's ed. And we've, like, you guys, and I'm not kidding you. Well, I just, like, a little eye contact here. Here, this for all the mamas. North Dakota requires, we have an app that he has to get 50 hours of daytime driving and 10 hours of evening driving in before he can get his license. And he's going through driver's ed. The 50 hours or the 10 hours of evening time, he had like 4. He doesn't drive at night. We're not out at night. We're usually home and they're in bed. And in North Dakota, it stays light until 10 p.m. So this week, from 10 until midnight, he and I have been driving around town. He's just been driving. So we go out for 2 hours from 10 till midnight, or like 9:30 to 11:30, whatever mama can handle. Because I'm like, I said to him the other day, I am fading fast, kiddo. You got to get me home. But he just drives. He just drives because he has to get his 10 hours of nighttime driving in. So I said to another mom yesterday, her son just got his permit. And I said, have him do his drive time in the winter when it turns dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. 10 o'clock at night. Ooh, to get that drive time in. It has been tough. But anyway, he's been doing a lot of driving lately. And I said to him, see, I said, does it feel better? Do you feel more comfortable? He said, yeah, he's just getting a feel for it. He's getting a feel for it. And the same thing, it's the same thing with your stenciling, you guys. It's I kind of, because he's going through that process, I kind of can think of it that way now. Like, yeah, he's going to get better and better at it, where he's not even going to think about the blinker. He's not even going to think about the stops and the yields. It's just going to become part of what he does, because he's going to drive so often, like all of us, most of us. So anyway, yeah, the more that you guys do this, the better and the more proficient you're going to be at it. I'm going to hinge this up so we can take a peek. I'm going to hold it very firmly with this hand, and I'm going to pull this back. I'm really most interested in the greenery, to be honest with you, to see. Oh, and that's because I had a nice coat of thick paint there. Okay, so I'm going to point a couple of things out to you. I love the way it looks. I think I'm ready to pull it up because the finish on it is really good. It's really solid. Oh, it's the painter's tape. It's holding my stencil down. On these really delicate parts, I'm going to very delicately pull up my painter's tape, because there are some really delicate little pieces here that I don't want to ruin. So let's take a look at this. Okay, before I take this off completely, I'm going to hinge this back. Look at the stem right here. You can see part of the petal of the other flower was going over the stem, so that's missing because I didn't want to paint that. I didn't want it to be shaped like a flower petal, so I skipped it. I'll come in with a regular paintbrush and fix that. Look over here where my petals are. You can see a little bit of the petal from the other flower. That's the beginning of the shape of the other petal. I'm going to come in with a regular paintbrush and I'm going to finish that off. This is looking great. I love the coverage. I love that metallic in there. So I'm going to take off the stencil and I'm going to show you how to finish up like these couple of things. The other thing is, this worked out just the way I wanted it to. I wanted the Hello Sunshine to be in front of it. I didn't want to paint on top of the greenery. I could have just done the whole stencil and then put that on top, but I didn't want that. I wanted the Hello Sunshine to really show up really well on its own and not be competing with the stems of the leaf. While I still have my paint colors out, I'm going to come in with a small brush. Let me find a brush that I'm happy with. So I'm just going to come in with a small brush and I'm going to fill in some of these things that are missing. Like, so right here, I'm just going to come in and paint it in. I'm going to finish that off. Same thing right here. I'm just going to paint that in. I'm not worried about it being perfect because stems, leaves, stems, anything in nature isn't going to be, it's not going to have crisp, I don't think of it that way. They usually have like little bumps and ridges on them. So if it's a little crooked, I don't mind that. Here, where I have the one leaf here, and I could have the beginning of a leaf here. So I'm gonna finish this leaf off. Let me pull this up closer so you can see. So right here, I had the beginning of a leaf. It actually was, I don't think it was a leaf. I think it was a part of the sunflower, the other sunflower. So I'm just going to come in and like fill in the blank. I'm going to help your mind realize that actually that's part of a leaf. So you have to finish the vision for this because I'm only using part of the stencil. So I'm going to round that off, make it look just like another leaf. And then I am going to pull down just a little bit as though my stem, the continuation of my stem. Do you see what I did? So the stem kind of fades into the background or disappears behind my word, Hello Summer. Okay. Is there anywhere else with the leaves that I need to fix? Not really. I have a little bit of bleed through right there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken that. I'm just going to make it a thicker stem. That's all. I don't worry about it here. I don't like the edging there. I'm just going to come in and thicken it up. Okay, now let's work on this right here. This part right here that looks unfinished. It looks unfinished. We're going to fix that. Okay, I'm going to come in. I think I'm going to use the same paintbrush. So I just dipped it in my water because it's nice and fine. I didn't blend the yellows. I just had the one yellow. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this yellow and I'm going to finish this leaf. I'm going to like just draw it in. I'm just going to like hand draw it. I'm going to cover up that little bit that looked like it was the petal. I keep saying leaf, the petal from the other flower. So now I was stippling before, and it gives a different texture to the petal than when I'm using this brush and I'm brushing it on. So I want to kind of blend those two together. So I'm going to draw that in like up further into that petal. I'm going to drag that paint further up into the petal so it looks like a more natural, it's not just a cutoff, like, oh, it'll look like two different paint jobs if you don't blend those two together. I have to grab more paint. Couldn't reach it. Okay, so here, look at it. I messed it up a little. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll just make that a little fatter right there. It's okay. It's all good. Now here, this one right here, this one that's not finished, I'm going to make it like this one that is finished. I'm just going to finish it off over here. Is it going to be like, look like what the stencil looks like? I don't know. I don't have the stencil in front of me. It doesn't matter. I'm just going for the basic same shape. Looks like it has a little bit of a point to it. And again, same thing, you guys. You want to probably cover this whole petal with a little bit of this paint so that you're blending the two. One of them is a brush stroke and the other one was stippled on with a stencil brush. Here, I got a little bit of the green in my yellow right here. Whoa, too much paint. I got a little bit of the green in the yellow. I'm just gonna drag that, cover it up there. I'm happy with that. Okay, now comes the gold metallic. That's the last thing I'm going to do. Oh, maybe a little green metallic. Definitely the gold metallic. I used the bronze. This metallic bronze I used in the middle, and I would like for there to be a little bit of metallic on the leaves. So I'm going to come in with this gold color. Same kind of paint. I got it at a secondhand store, you guys. I don't have a lot of it in my cap, so I'm just gonna, I don't have enough of it in my cap to work with. So let me squirt a little bit of it out on my tin foil here. I'm gonna go right on the yellow. This is already dry. I'm just gonna take a little squirt of that, and with the same exact paintbrush that already has the yellow on it, all I wanna do is highlight some of this with some gold. So on the edges, I'm gonna come around. I'm not gonna do all of them. If you try to be perfect and you try to make it perfect, you're gonna have to do perfect for all of them. I'm not a fan of perfect. I'm a fan of like looking like it's in its natural state and just, like I say, willy-nilly, like here and there. If they're not all going to be perfect, they're gonna, some of them will be covered all the way, some of them won't be, some of them will have more paint than others. And it's almost like on a lot of my paint projects, for those of you who are in my craft therapy club especially, you know, all of my paint projects, I like to outline them normally with black. I'm kind of doing the same thing here, except I'm doing it with a metallic because I want this metallic sheen to show up and kind of match what's going on in the middle, the center of my sunflower. That's why I'm doing it. So I'm not doing it, not all of them are totally outlined everywhere. I'm just doing most of them. I must have spilled some water right there. And I'll hold this up in the light. It may be hard for you to see now. So in a minute when I get this done, I will hold it up in the light and show you. And actually, this helps me with my the edges of my petals. If there's anything that's a little faint, like I didn't get enough paint in there, I'm going to cover it up with the gold. Let me see if I can find an example. I've covered up most of them. Or here. So see right here, I have just the tiniest little bit of bleed through right here. It's not a straight edge. If that bugs you, like, you can just go in with your outline color and just, because I'm going around the edges and I'm not trying to be perfect, but if I have something that I want to cover up, like I'm not happy with the way that looks or it's not dark enough, I can use this detail color to come in and fix it. Another little tip for you. So here it's a little faint right there, so I am going to fill that in. But I'm not filling them all in, and I'm not filling them in completely. Like, see this little line? It's not really on the edge. It's kind of went in the middle. I didn't mean for that. I kind of want it to be on the edge, but I'm not trying to be perfect, because if you try to be perfect, it's going to pain you. It will be, it's just not happy. It's not fun. And we want our projects to be fun. Plus, it's not natural looking. If I wanted it perfect, I'd go to Hobby Lobby and buy a sign that was manufactured on like a manufacturing plant. I don't want perfect. I like it to be handmade. I like it to show that somebody took the time to put a little gold on every single one of those petals. Okay, I was focusing on the outside of my petals. So can you see that? How now my yellow petals that were flat matte paint have like a tinge. I'm trying to get the right angle, you guys, so you can see. There it is. Now it has a tinge of metallic, so it matches what's going on in the middle here. If you want more metallic, all of these little black lines that come up into your flower, I wouldn't cover the black. You want that distinction, but maybe just highlight those a little. Come on the outside of each of those, you could add a little more. See what I'm doing? I'm not covering the black. I'm just going on the outside to just add a little more gold in each petal. Heck, if you love the metallic, you don't even have to use the yellow. You could just come in with metallic paints and just use the metallics for your sunflower. I kind of like the idea of having a little bit of both, because I think it's just visually interesting. All right, let's do the green. I'm just going to put a little green metallics. Same brush, just cleaned it in my water. I'm going to take my metallic green. I'm a huge fan of metallic paints, you guys. So fun. So fun. All right, I'm missing a lot of comments, so let me scroll real quick. Oh, Jill says, I really like this. I do too. Jerry says, I love metallic paint. I do too. Okay, I'm not going to need a lot of the green, so I'm going to come into my cap, and I'm not offloading, you guys. I want to show metallic green, so I'm not offloading it. I'm going to do the same thing here, but on my stems and leaves, I'm just going to come in and reinforce this with a little bit of green. It'll probably be more noticeable on the greenery, actually. And I don't like the shape of that leaf. That was one that I filled in a little bit, so I'm going to use the metallic to kind of make it a little bigger. Come all the way down. Like, if you're going to do it, don't skip any of it. You're going to touch a little bit of metallic on all of them. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but don't skip one. I would say you probably want to do all of them just a little bit. Even these little ones on the edge, right out of paint. Oh, what I do sometimes is I pull it, like I squeeze it until the paint comes to the top, and then I dip in. There's a lot of paint on my brush now. I'm very, very lightly just outlining all of these leaves, you guys. This is my favorite part. Actually, this is my favorite part of any project, is this detail work, because I think it really makes stuff pop and come to life. And you see, I'm not like being too careful here. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because you don't have to worry about being perfect. You're just trying to highlight and detail. Okay, so I'll show you the metallics. So can you see the metallic green now? How it gives it a different sheen. So I came in with a green that's very similar to it and gave me my matte base, and then I come on top of that with the metallic or a shimmer paint and just add, see what it does? Look at the petals. I love that look. I love it. It looks multi-dimensional. It looks like it has layers, and it's going to catch the sun in a really fun way. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you like it? I hope you like it. Showing you just how easy it is. Oh, you know what I missed? Paint boogers, you guys, paint boogers. I missed, I did not do, hold on, I'm going to hold this right. I didn't do these 3 little flecks. So because I love the way the paint that metallic paint catches, and I still have some gold left, I just grabbed a new brush, and whoop, I made that one bigger than it was. That's okay. My hand slipped and I made it a little bigger than it was. So there, check that out. That is just fun. And if that's sitting on your front door, that's just going to add so much life to that. Every time the sun hits it, someone's going for a walk and they walk by and they're going to see that sun hit it just right. I love the way this turned out. Those little tags, you guys, I'm telling you. Okay, so just to show you real quick, the stencils that I used. Oh, should I put a bee? Should I do the bee? I forgot about the bee. Is there room on here, do you think? I kind of like it the way it is, you guys. You vote. I like it the way it is. I like this big blank space. I think I'm going to leave it, you guys. The sunflower is gorgeous, and it takes up, this is one of those tags, you guys. It takes it up perfectly. It just takes up that space perfectly. Let me get some jute rope, and I'm gonna put some jute rope on here. I'll show you how I'll do that, you guys. I think I'm happy without the bee. I really do. I'm gonna just show you very simply how I'm gonna do the jute. I think I'm gonna do a big knot because I want it to be chunky. I think the jute is perfect for this. You could do whatever. You could do a ribbon, you could do yarn, you could do whatever you want. I think the jute is perfect. I'm hoping I can get this thick one through. Yes, I can. Okay, so hang tight, you guys. I'm just looking for the packaging because I know those of you who just came on, you're going to say, okay, what did she use? Which sets did she use? I want to be able to show you. I don't want anyone missing out. Here's the first one. This was the sunflower set that I used. It's a 12 by 16 set. It comes with the sunflower and it comes with this really pretty one. And then the other one, oh my goodness, here it is. It's this little summertime set. It has a watermelon, a pineapple, and then the Hello Sunshine. And I mixed the Hello Sunshine and the Hello Summertime. I used the word summertime and I used the word hello to create the Hello Summertime. I don't know, that's the message I wanted on mine. So I'm gonna put the knots, put that down so you can see it better. I'm gonna put a big knot here. I'm using a thicker rope. I'm gonna put a big knot there so that I have that little chunk sitting there, and I'll trim that down. And then I don't like, you guys, I actually personally, I don't like a really long string hanger. I don't like it to be really long. I like it to be really close to the project. If you like yours longer, just make it longer. Actually, you guys, I think I'm going to put this, I've been putting, I have so many finished projects that there's just nowhere for me to put anything anymore. I just have so many finished projects from doing so many demos. I'm putting them up for sale in my Crafty Chicks Club, my free club, the group here on Facebook. So if somebody wants this, this will probably end up in that group. It'll probably end up in that group for sale. So I like a shorter one. You can always cut it off and make a bigger one if you want. I know the beads are really cute when you use them. I feel like this project is fine just by itself, so I would use a shorter one, and I just clip off the excess so it doesn't take away anything. And I think I like it without I know I asked you for your vote with the bumblebee, but I really like it without. You're welcome, Cheryl. If you have bee tags, use the little bee off the honey pot. That's kind of what I was thinking originally, but I like it without. I think it's really simple and pretty, and I think the metallics give it enough pizzazz that it just doesn't need anything else. But again, that's the beauty of having the stencils, because you can go and recreate this. If you decide to copy my idea, copy it. But I would love it. I would be so honored if someone asked you about it. If you said, hey, this girl Grace from the Comfy Nest with Grace, she gave me the idea. And you could do any take of this that you want, with the bee, without the bee, with the metallics, without the metallics. I would love to see it if you share it. If you want to share the photo of your project, come into the Crafty Chicks Club that I have here on Facebook. It's just a group of people, like a community of crafters, and we love to share our projects. I would love to see your sunflower if you do it. Also, if you're a Stencil of the Month Club member, share them in there. I know this is not a stencil from that club, but you can still share your Essential Stencil projects in that club that is exclusive to those Stencil of the Month Club members. Yeah, some people are saying no bee. Simple is good. All right, let's pull some winners, huh? I like the metallic too. Tammy says, I like the metallics. Me too. Thanks, Patricia. Oh, Patricia found an emoji that is a sunflower. Aren't you smart? I love all the little creative emojis that you guys find. I'm like, what? I did not know there was an emoji for that. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 names. The 3 winners, what I need you to do if your name gets pulled, Colleen says, love, love, love it. If your name gets pulled, if I announce you as a winner, you just need to email the company at support@essentialstencil.com. Tell them your name, Don't assume that they know your name. You know, sometimes, a lot of times, people's email addresses don't have their name in them. So it might be like sunshine21@yahoo. We don't know what your name is. We can't address it to sunshine21. So make sure you give your name, your mailing address, and your email address so that they have that if they need to reach you. Here are our winners. I'm gonna do it from here because my iPad, I can see more comments on my iPad. I'm gonna scroll back all the way to the beginning. Anybody who shared and said that they shared, sprinkled, anybody who commented, your name is there in the comments, and I'm pulling from those names to pull a winner. So the first winner is Deborah. Oh, I hope I say it right. Deborah Banos. Banos, and she says, hi from New Jersey. So hello, Miss Deborah in New Jersey. You just won a set of stencils. You are our first winner. Our second winner is Holly. All the Hollies are like, what? All the Hollies are on alert. Holly, she has 3 names. Holly Adams, don't disappear on me, Gearhart. And Holly's comment that just won her set of stencils is loving the metallic paint. I'm so glad. I'm glad to give you that idea. It's so fun to have a good stash of paints that you can choose from for your projects. Our third winner is, hold on, gotta write it down before I lose it. It's cute. Crystal Hughes. And the comment that just won Crystal a set of stencils is, either way is okay with me. I'm thinking, wish metallics, no metallics, or B, no bumblebee. I'm not sure. Here are our 3 winners. Deborah Banos from New Jersey, Holly Adams Gearhart, and Crystal Hughes. The 3 of you just won a set of stencils. Thank you to Essential Stencil for generously giving stencils to your followers and your watchers. We appreciate that. If you want to join the Stencil of the Month Club, you can get $5 off your first month using my code, The Comfy Nest, or use my link. You could do that too. If you want to order any of the stencils that you saw today or any of the other ones that are on the website, you can go ahead and do that using my code, The Comfy Nest. You'll get 10% off, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys keeping me company. Head over to the Comfy Nest with Grace. I'd be honored to have you come over and like and follow my page as well. If you are not getting text messages from Essential Stencil, you might want to. I had a couple of people, we saw a couple of people say, oh man, I caught you live. I never catch you live. Okay. If you are not on Facebook when someone goes live, you will not get a notification. If you're washing dishes, you're making supper, you're on a bike ride, whatever it might be. You're out for a walk, you're sitting on your porch, whatever it might be. If you're not on Facebook and someone goes live, you may not get a notification unless you sign up for text notifications, which will go straight to your cell phone. Most of the time, our cell phones are pretty close to us. So your phone will ding, just like a regular text message, and it'll say, Grace from the Comfy Nest is live on Essential Stencil. Join her now. So you'll get that little notification, that reminder. The instructions for signing up for that are in the description of this video. And Essential Stencil may have even put it in the comments, but there you just text a little code through your phone and you can get on that list, and you can stop anytime. You just type in stop to cancel it. So if you feel like you want those notifications, go ahead and sign up for them. Carol says she wants that code. When I hit the share button, when I hit the finish button with this video, Carol, just give it a second. The video will post on the page as like a recorded video, and it's in the description. So you'll see it there. All right, you guys, have a beautiful, blessed day. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next Thursday. I'm on every Thursday for Essential Stencil, or you can catch me on the other days on my page, The Comfy Nest with Grace. Take care.